Hi, I'm Michelle Bege with a look at what's happening in Latin America now. But first, our news trivia.
A president of what country offered free coffee from his farm to select restaurants? We'll have the answer later. Venezuela is holding its presidential elections this weekend. President Nicolás Maduro is running for a third consecutive 6-year term in office. There are several opposition candidates, but the main one is Edmundo González Urrutia, who is fronting after several prominent opposition candidates with legal impediments to run endorsed him on his bid for the presidential chair. All eyes are on the millions of Venezuelan voters this Sunday.
Now let's go to my colleague Al Baverstock in Mexico, who has a special report.
A caravan of more than 3,000 migrants has crossed Mexico's southern border with Guatemala on its way to the United States. The migrants are trying to cross the border before there are any changes in the laws that might affect their entrance into the US. Migration is an important topic of discussion in the US presidential election scheduled for November. Mexico has also been enforcing very restrictive laws preventing migrants from reaching the US border in the first place. The migrant tactic in response is to move in numbers that the authorities cannot effectively stop. They may now be in Mexico, but for the caravan there's still a long way to go, 1,800 kilometers from where they are to the US border.
Costa Rica's tourism is growing. According to officials, the Central American country recorded a 14.5% increase in tourism numbers from January to June of this year, compared to the same time in 2023. 92% of the tourists come by air from North America. Receiving 1.5 million tourists has its challenges. In more remote regions of the country, the influx of foreigners has caused rent and land prices significantly to rise, as locals look to cash in on the more profitable business of short-term rentals. This makes the housing market more complicated for locals.
Now let's check out what stories we're following for next week.
First, we are following Guatemalan families who are calling for the government of Guatemala and Mexico to intensify the search for their missing loved ones. In November of last year, 10 Guatemalans, including a 17-year-old minor, disappeared in the southern Mexico state of Chiapas as they traveled there for work. But this region of Mexico has been increasing in violence with gang-related violence. Second, we are following the health of Brazil's sharks. A startling study of sharks off the coast of Rio showed alarming levels of cocaine in their blood and liver. Some of these sharks were pregnant. Experts say this could be due to runoff water from illegal cocaine labs or illegal boats that lose or dump the substance in their travels. Experts must do further studies to see what effects this may have on sea mammals. And now the answer to our news trivia. The answer is A. El Salvador's president, Nayib Bukele, is donating 200 pounds of coffee from his farm and 8,000 cups to local businesses to offer free coffee cups on the president. This week, he also announced the launch of a new coffee brand called the Bean of Fire, which he aims to sell in international markets. He says that with this campaign, he wants to showcase El Salvador's high-quality beans, promote local restaurants, and call on citizens living abroad to return and invest in their country.
And that's it for this week. We'll see you again soon on Latin America Now.